My name is Afra Smith, and I am the founder and CEO of the Melanin Project. I'm a former Division I athlete, and I have spent over 20 years in the healthcare industry. Allow me to tell you my story. I was making approximately $70K a year. Now, my salary was not always at that level. I was unbanked, as no financial institution would give me a bank account. Imagine the embarrassment and shame I felt. I used high interest loan products such as payday loans. I was burdened by student loan debt, late on numerous bills, had a credit score in the mid 500s, and faced institutional bias as I started to seek help. According to Forbes, the median wealth of Black Americans will fall to zero by 2053 if current trends continue. Well, let's look at some of these trends. Nearly half of Black households are unbanked or underbanked. This means that adults do not use banking institutions in any capacity, or they rely on cash more than checks, credit cards, and other financial products. The widest racial pay gap exists between college-educated Black and non-Hispanic whites. Almost 40% of Black college graduates are underemployed compared to 31% of white graduates, and this was my experience. The same gap exists for wealth. The median net worth of a college-educated Black family was $68K, while for white families, it was $399K. Can you imagine earning less than your counterparts and being equally as qualified? Black families are more reliant on the woman's income than other families. 80% of Black mothers are breadwinners in their families. Although they are the breadwinners, the median wealth for a single Black woman in her prime working years is $200 compared to a single white woman at $15K. In addition, Black women are also likely to get caught up in subprime lending. Although Black women are graduating college at higher rates than previous generations, due to the racial wage and wealth gap, Black women carry the highest student loan debt of any racial or ethnic group. The Melanin Project is on a mission to advocate, educate, and provide financial wellness coaching that empowers Black and African women to start on a journey towards building generational wealth. We have a sharp focus on AODIC, which is developed by yours truly. AODIC is a behavioral approach that supports maintaining a budget and building wealth. AODIC focuses on three key principles: recognizing your emotions, educating yourself, and empowering your life. AODIC is 80% of what a person needs to know to master their budget. We offer several products. However, our focus is on our self-paced financial literacy course. The course can be accessed 24 hours a day, has 9 modules with 41 micro-learnings. It comes with a course workbook, a plug-and-play budget tool, and includes quizzes and an end-of-course survey. By the end of the course, learners should have a completed budget, debt management, and savings plan. Our target market includes, but is not limited to, historically Black colleges and universities, Black fraternities and sororities, social media platforms, and potential bank partnerships, as home ownership is one of the best vehicles for building generational wealth. As you can see from this slide, Wisconsin has a third worst African-American home ownership rate. In Wisconsin, 76% of white residents own a home compared to only 25% of Black residents. And in Dane County, that number is even worse for Black residents at 10%. Since home ownership is one of the best vehicles for building generational wealth, key collaborations and bank partnerships with banks might help to address this crisis. The Melanin Project was formed in 2019 as a for-profit LLC. In 2020, we launched our social media pages and began to organize our vision and test products. We also put on several free masterclasses called Master Your Budget. In 2021, we launched our paid services and began outreach, and even generated our first revenues in January of 2021. In 2022, our goal is to continue to expand our services. Currently, the Melanin Project has an advisory council who has no decision-making power. I am the principal investor. We have a current debt of a little over $1,000, and I am the sole employee. If awarded the $5,000, I would use the funds for the purpose of creating a marketing campaign focused on SEO, SEM, digital promotional collateral, and consultant support. In closing, I just want to say that financial literacy changes lives. It certainly changed mine. I was broke and had bad credit, but I took the first step and paid off over $30,000 plus in debt. In 2019, I started the Melanin Project to help others. Now I'm spreading my success to anyone who will listen and wants my help. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. You had 20 seconds left, so you didn't get the ding. You didn't even have to experience the ding. Can we give Afra our Zoom round of applause, claps? Hopefully she can see everybody here. Great. Well, judges, feel free to spend a couple minutes taking some notes about Afra. And Afra, I'd love to just hear a little bit more about, you talk about your story, but at one point didn't you say, this is an opportunity?
I realized as I was taking this journey, and I've always had the spirit to be an entrepreneur. That has always been something important for me. And I have dibbled and dabbled in a lot of things, but it just never felt right. And as I started to take this journey, I realized that because my story was not unique, this was a big problem for my community. And I feel like the approach that I have to it became sort of a vision that I had. And I started to do the free products just to engage folks. And I really realized that I had something that I could share with others, and going through my journey would absolutely help people avoid the mistakes. And, the first two acronyms of AODIC talks about acknowledging that you have an issue and then taking ownership of it. I spent so much time sort of blaming others. And yeah, there's a factor to barriers there. But I think once I decided to take complete ownership and accountability, my life began to shift. And so it's just important for me to be able to share that with other people.
Mm-hmm. And, you launched right before the pandemic. Can you talk about what some of your client reactions have been like as you share this vision and with them? What have you heard from your clients?
Thank you so much for that question. So I launched the free master classes called Master Your Budget. And I did the first course with sort of putting on social media because I just wanted a random crowd, no one that knew me. And so it was very well received by that specific crowd. The next crowd, I did more of a mixture of an invite, but I also invited different caliber of folks in the industry. So from people working maybe at a 30,000 range, 30K range, up into VP levels. And again, I feel like this issue crosses all sorts of arenas. And so it's not just an issue with people living in poverty, but it's an issue with a lot of folks. Through my story, you can see I was making 70K a year and I still had these same issues. And so as I began to study and research, I realized there are other folks who are maybe up here that you don't really consider and think about, that don't understand how to build credit and how to maintain their credit. So I feel like the master classes were very helpful. And then my approach with the AODIC that sort of talks about my journey and things to avoid really has been quite beneficial for some of the clients that I have been working with.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. What is kind of the thing I'm sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
That's okay. I just want to make sure we get it in here. I'm just curious, a great presentation. Can you talk a little bit about competition in the market for your product and what you're offering?
I believe that there are a lot of folks that offer financial literacy, but I think that the cultural aspect of the service is missing. And it was really difficult for me. I tried to get help from a lot of places and I felt very judged and I felt bad. No, I wasn't where I needed to be to necessarily take place in the process, but sometimes having that visual of how to get to a place or what I need to get there was really lacking and missing. And I didn't want anyone to ever experience that. I wanted to feel hope and optimism as I took the journey. So a part of AODIC infuses what you may likely run into from friends and family. I got so much feedback about why I'm doing something or why I'm taking that journey. And a part of it is developing that selective hearing so that you can stay on the course. But it's also a very visual process. And when it relates to money and you're in a hole, it's hard to see your way out. And so you really have to make sure that you keep that frame. So I feel like AODIC is almost a cultural frame to help, Black and African women move forward. And I don't see that in any other product line, at least in my community here. So I feel like there's not enough people doing it and, really raising the alarm on what's happening with the Black community.